Breaking news. At the moment there seems to be nothing in life but news, and often it's all about other people or events that have nothing to do with us directly. But what if the news is actually breaking? And then suddenly, out of the blue, there comes a piece of extremely bad news, and it affects us deeply. How do we deal with it? Jesus was continuing his mission of coming alongside everyday people and showing them God's love and care. It was beyond anything that they had ever experienced before. And then he hears that his cousin John, just 6 months older than him, is dead, murdered by King Herod. His death was appalling. John is in prison for speaking truth under power, for telling everyone that Herod was an adulterer and that his actions were illegal. Herod, more afraid of his new wife Herodias than the law, has cast him into prison and continued his profligate life by throwing a lavish party on his birthday. Meanwhile, Herodias had not stopped scheming against John. Her rather spoilt brat of a daughter, Salome, dances seductively before Herod and his guests at his party. Herod was a man addicted to both drink and women, so he promised to give her anything she asked for. Her mother told her to ask for the head of John the Baptist on a plate. Well, when you're slightly drunk and want to lose face in front of your guests, what can you do but keep your outrageous promise? And so the news reached Jesus, and he is devastated. John, the one who'd pioneered the way that Jesus pursued, who had recently received reassurance that he'd done nothing wrong, is now dead. Jesus has to escape to a lonely place to address his grief. He goes by boat to a quiet place away from the crowds, something he often did, to pray, this time to mourn. I wonder what thoughts went through his mind. Was this a taste of things to come for him? Is this what God really wanted him to do? Had he got it all wrong? What were his prayers to the Father like? Did Jesus vent his anger for John at God himself, like so many of the Psalms do with their cries of lament, intertwined with words of faith and hope? That night, it must have been agony, thinking of all the things he might have done for John, or things he'd wished he'd said. We all do something like that in the face of grief. It wasn't a peaceful night. Come the next morning, and crowds have discovered his whereabouts and come flocking to him. Out of his grief, Jesus' heart goes out to them. They have no idea what has happened for him that previous night, but maybe they are God's answer to Jesus' questions of doubt about his future. You might find this song, "There's a Time for Tears," helpful as you ponder questions of grief when they come to you.
There's a time for tears and a time for pain. Time to hurt while the grief remains. There's a time when peace seems so far away, yet still God holds us on that day.